Thank you so much for making time in your very busy life to talk with me. And as I shared with you before, one of the things that we are really committed to doing is to just engaging with students and listening to what students share and using what students share in the planning that we're doing. So I asked you if we could talk today just about the experience you've had in the last year and also some things that might be helpful for you to share with us as we plan towards the end of the year. So what would you, if you had to say your biggest lesson for yourself in the last year, what would you say you've really learned?
I'd say I've learned that it's important to prioritize having balance in your life. And I've learned this because I've volunteered for a lot of things, and I'm learning that you have to prioritize your energy and um, be selective with where you put your time because we have a lot of stuff going on, and you need to have time for yourself and time um, to do what you want to do outside of school.
Right. I think that's one of those lessons you learn again and again in your life. And usually from realizing that you've gotten out of balance in
Mm-hmm.
some way. Yeah, good for you. I'm really impressed and pleased that you're learning that lesson already. Um, when you've made the decision with your family that you'll be remaining virtual
Mm-hmm.
for the rest of the year,
Yeah.
um, what do you think for adults that are at school? What do you think would be really helpful for adults to know about continuing to support students that are remaining virtual?
Yeah, I think adults need to know that students who are virtual still need their support and their grace. And I think that even though we've been doing online this entire year, being in the home stretch of the school year and just kind of losing steam and having all of these things going on, I think they just need to keep that in mind and still support their students who are online.
Yeah, that's something that we're talking a lot about with staff about how to do both, attend to the students that are in person and then attend to the students that are virtual. And it's asking a lot of
Yeah.
our teachers, but it's also asking a lot of our students to
Mhm.
do school in a different way. Have you had the experience in this last week of having classes where students are physically present and then you're virtual?
A little bit, but most of them I couldn't really tell, and it wasn't every day. And if
Okay.
there were students, it was only a few of them. And the most students that I've seen were in my band class, and that was maybe like five. But
Okay.
yeah,
It was just the seniors back this
yeah,
last week. So it would only be in those classes where you have 12th graders. But
yeah.
next week, there will be more because ninth through 11th are coming back. So, um, what do you think in terms of maintaining that connection with school? What are some things that feel helpful to you as you're remaining a virtual student, but still wanting to keep connected to your high school? What are some things that feel particularly helpful to you?
I think just interacting with students online
Mm,
helps me connect, and I think it's kind of slowed down because we keep our cameras off and we just do the work that we're assigned. But I think when you talk to students who are in your class and you make that connection, I think it makes it a lot easier to just get your work done and to have more fun just being at home and on your computer.
right. And are those interactions with other students through breakout groups that happen in class?
Yeah, for one of my classes, it's a leadership class and we do a lot of work together, so it's easier. But in other breakout rooms, it's kind of just getting your work done and being quiet. So I
Okay.
think it depends on the class, but
Okay. One of the things we've heard a lot about from students is just that it's challenging to keep your motivation up,
Yeah.
right? Have you felt that way this year?
Yes.
And what have you done to continue to be motivated? Because you're somebody that does a lot of things, right? You keep up with your coursework, you play a sport, you do a lot, you volunteer. So how do you keep your motivation up?
Um, to be honest, I'm struggling with that right now, so I'm trying to figure that out, but I think it's taking advantage of when you feel motivated and when you're able to um, get up and have the energy to get stuff done because um, I don't know, at nighttime, I just don't have the motivation at all.
Yeah.
And so instead of just like forcing myself to do it, even though I don't want to, and it'll take me twice as long to complete the work,
Mhm.
um, just kind of giving myself that break and allowing myself to go and do what I want, not in like a procrastination way or in an
Yeah.
unhealthy way, but um, taking advantage of when I feel motivated and when I have the energy.
It's really smart that you know that because there are definitely times of day, even
Yeah.
when people are more productive than others. I'm an early morning worker. I can get a lot done in the morning, but you're like you said at night, not so
Yeah.
much. It's harder to do. Is there anything that adults either have done or could do that would help you with that motivation where you find yourself feeling really committed to something based on a way that an adult has supported you?
I think just kind of switching it up, whether that's like checking in on students or just taking the first 10 minutes of class to talk to students or just connect together. I think that that would really help because like you wake up and then you go on your computer and then it's like bam, you have to do the work and it can be hard to get up and do it, and sometimes I just don't do the work and then I'm stuck with it after the fact. So I think that switching it up would be really helpful.
Mhm.
um yeah.
Good. Yeah, I mean, I've heard a lot of people say, and I've even felt sometimes in this last year, it's sort of like the same day again
Yeah.
and again. So I like what you said about switching it up a little bit.
Hmm.
If you could think of any idea for us, the school district, to be planning for that would be very helpful to students right now, what idea or ideas would you offer to us?
I think that the administration at schools should help teachers just connect with their students or just give them some guidance on how to help students online because I think teachers have kind of been on their own this entire time.
Mhm.
And especially with the school year ending and a lot of testing coming up, I think it would be really helpful to just have have time to slow down for even 5 minutes in class. And I think that the administration in each school could help with that and give teachers some tips and some guidance.
Okay, that's really good feedback for us too. And it did our whole way of doing education.
Mhm.
It just changed like that
Yeah,
in a way that it was hard to be ready for. So our teachers have really done a lot of extra effort
yeah,
in trying to learn a whole new way. And that's been true for students, but it's definitely been true for adults as well. Is there anything that I didn't ask you that you would want to share that feels important in the spirit of hearing student voices about our experience right now?
um no, I
Okay.
can't think of anything to add.
Okay. Well, this is perfect. This is exactly what we were hoping for. It's just this kind of pretty informal conversation and to get some information from you. So I'm really grateful to you for taking your time with me and for being willing to share yourself and your experiences. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.